Hey guys, this is going to be a video collaboration between Creative Vein and Practical Psychology, so check out the description for more videos like this. Have you ever seen someone and just got that feeling that they aren't friendly? Or have you ever met someone that was warm and inviting and you became friends with them immediately? See, you judge a person like the cover of a book, no matter what your teachers told you. It's how we evolved as we needed to know who was trustworthy, who was a leader, and who we should stay away from. Today, we are going to be going over 8 psychological tricks that will help you nail a first impression in any environment. Number 1, practice confident body language. There have been many studies conducted that show that your body language not only influences your physiology, but also the nature of the people that are around you. If you have your arms crossed, your feet tapping nervously, and you have your legs in a crisscross position under your chair, you'll be seen as timid and closed off. Instead of hoping that someone will help you break out of it, you have to do it yourself. Practice at home by sitting up straight, opening your arms up, and widening your legs as to take up more space in the room. You will appear and actually feel more confident if you make this a habit. There's plenty of things you can do that physiologically affect your mental state and how others see you. Try to place your chin straight up to look confident. Walk with your shoulders back and your chest forward, and look people in the eye when you're talking to them. Step number 2, be on time. Now this applies to many business situations, whether that be a job interview, a mentorship, or even just a class. You want to be on time and there is no excuse. If this is an important meeting, set aside time to get ready, to get there early, and some buffer time just in case there's something like extra traffic or you're missing a flight. Being on time shows that you take them seriously. However, there are times that you can be late, and I will be going over that in step 8. I used to be in band, and in fact, I played the flute for those of you who don't know, and no, it's not a girly instrument. Anyways, they have this saying in band: if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you're already running some laps. I think this can be applied to life too. If you're late to market with a new product, you're going to lose money. And if you're late to a job interview, you're going to have a lower chance of getting hired. Tip number 3 is to use your tone. Now this is another tone that you can definitely practice. Do this with music in the shower or talking to people online through Skype. Learn to use your voice from your chest and not your nose, and you will command much more respect. Sound very confident and project your voice up. A little tip is to open your mouth wider to allow some of the sound to come out more. Words that are spoken hardly matter compared to the way that the words are spoken. Neuro-linguistic programming is basically the science of what you say and how it affects those around you. But how you say it can mean so much more. If there's enough likes on this video, I may make another video on NLP and how to use keywords and things like that to put people into trances. It's alright to have a higher pitched voice, and if you learn how to use it effectively, it can be a great tool. Just always sound confident. Tip number 4 is to remove the words and all. So, continuing with the previous example, if you have the best content in the world, but every sentence has or ah or like in it, you will not be heard. Like Charlie Brown, your audience will only hear wah, 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 wah. Practicing your speech at home is a great way to improve your tonality, to remove your filler words, and to become a more confident speaker. I find that the more and more people you speak to in public, the better you get at avoiding this, especially if you focus on filling that silence with one of 2 things. Number 1, you can fill it with more silence, which rarely is what most people do, but this will force the other person to talk unless you both are comfortable with the silence. The second is to fill it with other words and meaningful sentences. The key word is meaningful. If you watch any of the political debates, you can tell that both of the main 2016 candidates are extremely good at using filling sentences that don't really mean much, but sound like they do. Tip number 5 is grooming. Grooming is key because the first thing that people look at is the face. If you have yellow teeth, bad hair, and you haven't shaved recently or at least maintained your facial hair, people will also assume that you smell bad and won't want to associate with you. I know it's politically incorrect to make these assumptions, but people still do it, and that's the point. I personally struggle with yellower teeth since I drink a lot of coffee, but I have found a few effective ways to help. There are also tons of tutorials you can watch and products you can buy to help style your hair in a more attractive manner. Appearances matter even more today with social media, where many get their first impression from a profile picture before even meeting you. So be sure to get a haircut at least once a month, clean up, and look sharp. I also suggest watching Alpha M's video on how to take a profile picture. Tip number 6 is attire. Attire and the clothes you wear is important as well because after your face, people judge you based on what you're wearing. See, I had this friend who applied to a local grocery store. He went in for the interview wearing a button-down shirt, slacks, and some nice dress shoes. Now, you can say that this is normal, but it's also for an interview. But he wears this same attire even when he's cashiering or restocking. In fact, when he was getting shown around at the beginning of the hiring process, and he had a store badge on, everyone who already worked there thought that he was corporate, specifically because he was dressed nice and talking to the managers. The shocking part of this story is that he's only 19 years old. Do you know how much respect he gets from the older folks from dressing like that? He said some guy came in on his second day, asked him which TV to buy, and then the older gentleman bought the TV without even looking at the specs. I don't know if this is respect or not, but I thought it was interesting. Alright, so at a meeting, come in with a fitted suit if you really want to impress them. What I've learned is that a suit doesn't have to be expensive or high quality for most settings. The key factor is that it fits well. If you have watched any of Alpha M's video on this topic, the main thing is that the suit fits you right. If you have a solid body with a suit that hugs you, you'll be miles ahead of most people who have suits that hang off of them as if it were their uncles, or that they look like they're about to pop. For all clothing, get items that fit and suit your style and environment. You don't want to be wearing a t-shirt and jeans around a corporate meeting unless you're Mark Zuckerberg. Tip number 7 is eye contact. Holding eye contact is another key step. You don't want to come off as too intimidating or creepy when you're staring at someone, but you don't want to come off as meek and shy with no eye contact at all. If you make eye contact with someone, say at a gym, and you do it more than 3 times, do not go the 4th time without striking up some sort of short conversation, or you will be the weird guy at the gym, or the office, or wherever this is. Also, if you're observing someone speaking or giving a lecture, go with the 80-20 rule, which is to look at the person for 80% of the time and then look away for 20%. This obviously isn't an exact science, but having a guideline will help tremendously. Tip number 8 is to know your audience. Now this is the final step. You wouldn't wear a t-shirt to a meeting, and you wouldn't wear a suit to a friend's house to hang out, unless you were that friend that I mentioned earlier. This is pretty obvious, but knowing this can help you adapt to new situations, specifically when meeting new people, and helping you become more confident when meeting them. When speaking, if it's a casual conversation, telling embarrassing stories can also help both of you open up. But make sure that it's not demeaning or hurting anyone else's feelings, as a blow to someone's ego can also make you seem aggressive. Nobody really wants to hang around someone they fear will mock them or call them out. In the end, though, you want to know your audience, understand which jokes are acceptable and which are not, and you can do this by researching their culture. So we have provided you with the steps to improve in each area, so all you have to do is to make them habits one at a time. If you can't, focus on one specific topic and work on it. They will slowly become ingrained into your character and eventually become more and more confident when you meet more people. This video was created with the help of Creative Vein, who has more great videos just like this one on his channel. I highly suggest going and checking it out. If you like this video, like it, and if you want more, subscribe. Thanks for watching.